In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply binomials. So first you need to know what a binomial is. Each of these parentheses is a binomial because it has two terms. So for number 1, I have 2x as a term and -1 as a term, and then x is a term and +3 is a term. So each of them have two terms. Terms are separated by plus and minus signs. All right, so to multiply these, some people call this FOIL, which stands for first, outer, inner, last. I just call it distributing, and I'm going to take the first thing in this set of parentheses and distribute it to both things in the second set of parentheses. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the second thing. It's going to get distributed to both things. So it's just distribution. FOIL is a fancy way to do it, but it's not necessary. So I've got 2x times x is how I'm going to get started here. So 2x times x gives me 2x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. -1 times x is -1x. And -1 times 3 is -3. Now I have two terms in the middle that are like terms. These are both things that have an x, not an x squared. They have to have the same variable and the same exponent. So 2x squared gets dropped down. 6x take away 1x is 5x, and then I drop down the -3. All right, so let's do this again. Number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the first thing in the parenthesis, and I'm going to multiply it by both things in the second set. So 3r times your 4r is going to give you, whoopsie, deleted my 3r. All right, so I have 3r times 4r. That's going to give me 12r squared. Then I'm going to take that same 3r and go to the 5. 3r times 5 is 15r. Now I need to distribute the second thing in that first set of parentheses. -2 times 4r is -8r. And -2 times 5 is -10. I'm now going to combine my like terms. Those like terms are 15r minus 8r. So I'm left with 12r squared plus 7r minus 10. All right, number 3. When you see a binomial squared, like number 3, you're going to write it out twice because something squared means multiply it by itself. I have a short on how to not make the most common math error with distributing when you have something squared. You write it out twice. Then I'm going to do 4y times 4y is 16y squared. 4y times -1 is -4y. And then we must repeat the process with the -1. -1 times 4y is -4y. And -1 times -1 is +1. I'm going to combine my like terms. They just so happen to be in the middle again. This is typical, but not always the case. All binomials can look different. 16y squared drops down. -4y minus 4 more y is -8y, and I drop down my constant, which is +1. All right, number 4 is also a special case. It's not the same as 3, where we're multiplying by itself. It's almost by itself, but there's an opposite sign. So I want you to pay close attention to what happens here. 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. 2x times -1 is -2x. Now I'm going to take the 1 and do the same thing. 1 times 2x is 2x, and 1 times -1 is -1. This time in the middle, I have -2x and +2x, which makes 0x. And 0 times anything is 0, so these middle two terms cancel out, and we're left with 4x squared minus 1. And so this is a special case that will always happen when you have the same number with your variable, the same leading coefficient and variable, and then you have the same constant also. I hope this video helps.